And here we go. Okay, so I'm super excited. It is the new year just about, and we're getting a jump start, and we're going to give you guys some of our tips and things that we do to help us, get excited, hit the new year and, running full speed. And so I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mary Ann, and then Trinity's going to share her tips, and then I'm going to share mine, and we're going to close it out. And then
Okay.
Before we close it out, you guys do not let me forget to talk about the big announcement on January 1. Do not let me forget. Okay, now Mary Ann, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. So the first thing I do is that I reposition my mind. So more often than not, you're going to hit this point. It's the halftime where you're probably behind. I always try to relate this to an athletic event because I get those. I know how they work out, and it encourages me. So sometimes, especially in this business where every day is new, and even if you've been in it a couple years, it's still all new and you're still trying to figure it all out. And so I reposition my mind. And so one thing I do is I decide that I have to refocus on my goals and what I want to accomplish. And basically, I have to encourage myself, and whatever my goals are, decide they are happening. And I have to encourage myself until I get to the point where I am fully convinced that my goals are happening. So that way I'm in the positive mindset. I'm working from, not a defeated mentality. So I really have to work on my brain first, okay, and my emotions and everything. And so one of my favorite verses, it's Philippians chapter 3, verses 13 and 14. And it's something like, forgetting what's behind me, forgetting. I don't even know what's behind me. I don't even know what just happened the last 6 months. I press toward the mark of the high calling of Christ. And so that just gives me courage that whatever God laid on my heart is supposed to happen in the first place. That's the vision. So no matter what I did right or wrong or whatever, it's still going to happen. So I do a lot of thinking and reflecting and journaling. I have the last 3 years, I have used this little guide that Christian Sharp puts together. You can just Google it, Christian Sharp, New Year, whatever. It's all over the place. And I work through it. I work through it personally, and I work through it professionally with my business. Chris and I, we always sit down and write down our family goals. And so sometimes that ties into our business, just because my business affects our family so much, and my business creates what our family wants so much. And so that's always fun. And what's really energizing sometimes is sometimes getting a new goal. If my former goal it doesn't excite me anymore, if for some reason it stresses me out, I just shift goals. Maybe it's instead of focusing on a prize or instead of focusing on a monetary, whatever, I just shift to get myself encouraged again. So I do a lot of reflecting. I do this thing right here. I like to take some time. I carve out an hour or so or more, depending on whatever I can squeeze, around the kids and the family and husband and everything. And I write it all out. I write down, I retrack my numbers from here to June. What do I want to accomplish? What are my numbers? How far do I have to go? And I recalculate how much has to be done each month, what activity has to happen on average each week, each day. And I basically recalibrate. Okay. And sometimes if I need to adjust, if I need to scale down my goal or whatever, make it bigger, I do. So I recalibrate, I adjust. I have that reflection time, that journaling time. Sometimes I redo my vision board, or maybe I put more up so that, I can see things, because out of sight is out of mind. Maybe I didn't do great on my goal because I didn't look at it. I don't know. So, maybe I want to track customers now, or I'm, tracking my sales better, whatever. I've got my family goal. Maybe I'm going to take the kids to Disney or something, and I need to have tracking sheets for that all over the house so they can see it and I can see it, things like that. I do clean my office. That's always helpful. Yep. So that's the deal on January 1st. That's what I'm doing. I like to finish out the month focusing on income producing activities for me personally, sales and recruiting. And then January 1st, that's when I clean my office. Okay. And then get my schedule all laid out for the year. And, for me as a director, I have a lot of other tasks that as consultants, you guys don't have to do. So as a consultant, there's not as many little tiny things you have to do or whatnot. So, but yeah, those are the big things that I take time to do and also I write down what I think I did great and what I think I did not so great and how it needs to change. And I basically create an action plan. And a lot of that happens through all those details, because if I just talk about what I did good, or if I just talk about what I did bad, like the whole time, like that's not healthy. You gotta be healthy and constructive. And so the things I want to adjust, I really nail it down to, well, how am I going to change that? And when am I going to change that? Like I give my change that I want to create, it basically becomes a goal too. It has a deadline. Because if it doesn't have a deadline, it's not happening, and then you're just going to be mad again a year from now. And then you also have to enroll your accountability, so is it your family? Is it your spouse? Is it, your best friend? Like, who is going to hold you accountable? Because if you don't have accountability, it's really easy to hide and just like pretend like you didn't make that goal, and then basically you create for yourself a failing muscle. You exercise a failure muscle of quitting, and you don't want to do that. So the way to avoid going to that part of the gym is accountability and having someone who will encourage you on that winning muscle, that trying muscle, trying over, not giving up for it and fighting for it. And that creates that winning muscle all over again. So those are my big things. I'm a thinker and a planner. And then on the first, I clean.
Yay. Okay, good. All right, Trinity.
That's awesome, Marianne. So mine's kind of a little list for you guys. I didn't go as in-depth as Marianne. So that was awesome, Marianne. Thank you. So mine is just a couple of different things. And this is, I guess, my 4th New Year's going into in January. And so there's things that are going to work really well for you that probably wouldn't work well for me. But a couple of different ideas that I had are just really basic. And you might think, oh my gosh, that's so basic. She teaches kindergarten. But I promise you, if you do simple steps and you consistently do those simple steps, it really does make a difference. So the first step is obviously go to Jumpstart. January Jumpstart is January 5th in Atlanta. There's also one in Knoxville for anybody who's in the Chattanooga area. January Jumpstart is a great way to get yourself pumped up, excited. It's just an incredible experience. Plus, Michelle's going to give you details later, but there's something big coming and we don't know what it is. And so this is going to be a great way to launch your business and get everything really excited for the new year and kind of set up yourself for the next 6 months, because literally, you guys, this is the biggest, most exciting time of the whole year. You're running your race to the finish line, January to June. So I know it's not the Mary Kay New Year, but we get 2 do-overs in Mary Kay, so that's really cool. So that's a huge one. If you don't have a Jumpstart that you can go to, I know we're having a baby shower on Saturday, so I actually can't go to that one. So we're having one locally in Chattanooga, and I'm still trying to find one later in January that might be somewhere close to us that we could go to as well, or that I can get to, because I need that pumped up as well. Talk to your director about your goals. You guys, that's what we're here for. We get paid to help you. Imagine that. It's so crazy. And we want to help you. We want you to keep us in your hip pocket. We want you to be talking to us, letting us know your goals. Don't feel like you annoy us. I teach kindergarten. You cannot annoy me more than that. They both have 700 children. Like, it's not possible to annoy us, okay? So literally touch base with us. Talk to us about your goals. We've been there, so we know how to get you to where you want to go. Okay, so that's a huge thing. Talk to your director. And that seems so simple, but you would not believe how many people don't do that, because we want to help you. And so definitely touch base with us. Create a goal poster, like Marianne said. I create a new one every year, like every Mary Kay New Year, and then every year. But I love goal posters. I love that visual. I love keeping it in front of us, my husband and myself. And that goal poster is just a really fun thing for me. Don't spend 7 hours on it. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to be productive, but keeping it in front of us is a huge thing. If you want to go to Disney this year and pay for it with your family, make a goal poster and let your kids help you if you have children. That's a huge one. And then also I put on your set goals with your significant other. I call it your spouse or your spice. whoever they are, set goals with them, because that is a huge thing. You got to get them on board, you guys. If they're not on board, my husband wasn't on board for a long time. You guys may know that story. You may not know that. And now that we're driving the free car, he's definitely on board. But it's a fun thing for them to be able to be involved. Every time there's a new star poster that comes out, my husband and I sit down together and I let him, unless I find a prize that I really want, I let him pick the prize. So it's kind of like a fun reward for him too, for really being supportive. So that's a cool thing too. But make sure that they're involved in that goal poster, your family involved in that goal poster creation and in setting the goals for this new year, because you have 6 months to make some big things happen. Let's see. Create a resolution. Okay, here's a couple. To fill out your weekly plan sheet, you guys. The weekly plan sheet is huge, and it can really help plan out your entire week. And I know that's kind of silly to think about, like, oh, if I just plan out my week, it'll be easier. But I promise you, you plan your work and you work your plan. Print out that sheet every Sunday. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, get on Google and type in Mary Kay weekly plan sheet. It's empty. You can print it out. Go ahead and print out how many weeks are in a year? 50 something. I teach kindergarten. Yep, that many. And go ahead and print them out. Have them labeled. Be ready every single week to start out your week and create your weekly plan, because that's a huge, huge thing in the planning of things. Cut out the television. So we've been on vacation. We're obviously in Gallenberg at my parents' cabin, and I've been watching so much TV. My eyes are like zombie, because we've been watching football and things like that, and I normally don't watch this much TV, so I'm like, my eyes are burning. But cut out that television. You would not believe, if you track how much we watch TV or how much time we spend on Facebook or how much time we waste, it is crazy. So make that resolution to cut out a certain amount of television, or just let yourself watch a certain amount if that's one of your struggles. But definitely, somebody said at this training that I went to recently with a bunch of directors, they said Facebook is like a blood sucker. It's just like it's like a tick, and it sucks the life out of you. It's so true. And so I've had more time this weekend to get on Facebook, and I'm like, why am I staring at my phone on Facebook? And so if you take the app off of your phone, and if that's a problem for you, she said she took the app off her phone and it really helped her. She had to be really intentional about logging in and going to the Safari app or whatever and getting on Facebook. And so it's not as easy if you take that app off. So that's a fun tip. And then touch base with every customer that you have. Wish them Happy New Year, whether it's sending out cards or whether it's just a simple text or an email. Touch base with them. Let them know that you're excited about this new year. You can even tell them your big goals. This is what my family and I are working on this year. That also will give you kind of a boost to remind you, oh my gosh, I have 5 customers. I'm awesome. Or I have 700 customers, whatever it is. So that way you're able, and you will not believe if you touch base with them. I've started to do that already for the new year, and they're already like, oh, I'm glad you messaged me. I really need this product. And so that's a really fun way to start off the new year with a little bit of extra money in your pocket. So there's a couple of different little tips there. Michelle, I'll toss it to you.
Okay, good. I had to take my glasses off because I spilled 3 drinks in my Mary Kay car the other day at the same time. Just so you know, Zaxby's cup holders are not very deep. And 2 went flying forward, and I stopped, and the other went flying back, and my glasses are still dirty. I was not a happy camper. Okay. So here are my tips. And so right before we were doing the call, we got a boxer on the director box that we're all on, and it was Jan Thetford, and she gave some really great tips, and so I'm going to start with those first, and then I'll talk about what I do. So here's what she says, and I totally agree. First of all, on January 1, take time to think about getting a quiet place away from technology, like Trinity was talking about, away from the TV, away from family. Just get in your office and think about what you want. Maybe look through the prize catalog. Maybe go, if you've got to log in and look at the contest this year, look at that. Or just ponder, what is it that you really, really want? Okay. And then ask yourself, and this is where you're really having some heart to heart. And I've been thinking about this. What did you do well this last year? What did you do well? Okay. And what do you feel good about? Here's the next question. Where do I need to make some changes? And where do I want to start? Okay. So you can't do them all. We're going to talk about that in a second. And then the next question is, what do I want to change first? Which is, where do you start? But can I take action on it right now? All right. So there was an article that was printed that said the above average person can only make one life change a year. Okay. So if you are listing out 10 things that you want to do and change about yourself, this new year, you've already set yourself up for failure. Just like you guys know, I posted my goals for the new year the other day. And basically it's what I wanted to do with my sales. But my main goal was $5,000 a month. I didn't talk about how many recruits I wanted. I didn't talk about what car I was going to win. I didn't talk about what unit club. I just talked about that $5,000. Okay. The rest was going to come from that activity. And that was the one thing. And so as you're thinking, think about that one thing and the ripple effect that it's going to have on everything else that you want. And that, because all that is bogging you down because you don't know where to start. But that's what's so great. You keep it simple, you keep it short, and you just, and you ask yourself, can I start right now? Can I start tomorrow and get a head start on January 1? So keep it simple, keep it short. And when are you going to start? I would always recommend that you start with a sales goal. Okay. You start with parties. How many parties are you going to have? I already know that to have that $5,000, breaking it down, I already know my numbers. I already know how much I average in my reorders every month with my current customer base. So I just need to simply have 2 parties a week. Y'all, that is 6 hours a week. 6 hours a week can do my entire bucket list and remodel my house in 18 months. I mean, how exciting is that? And so that's where your professional goal comes together with your life goal right there. That's how it all works together. And I think what's been the problem is you haven't put those together. You want to do things that you don't know how to do them, and then you want to do it over here, but you don't know the outcome of if you actually do it. But when you mesh them together, it all works together. That one thing, is going back. We've all talked. Gosh, I read that book, the one thing. What is the one thing? And this is what's taking you back to that one thing that you're going to change this year. What did I do good last year? Well, personally, I read the book, The Slight Edge, and I got on a health routine. That was the one thing that I did great. Business-wise, I'm still thinking. So I've got to look, and sometimes I might need to be honest with myself and say, did I waste time over here in this area? And so that's where the thinking is going to help you to reevaluate so that you don't make the same mistakes in this new year. All right, so here are some things that in the past I've done. So what I need to do to clear my head to get started with a new year, like Marianne said, I clean my office. And I've already cleaned my office. I needed to go ahead and get a jump start. That's just, I had the time. And when I have the time, because once my kids go back to school, which is this Friday, I won't have time. So I had to do it when I had time to do it. So I cleaned my office. I also clean out my bags. I reorganize all my bags. I repack all my bags, my go bag, my briefcase. So I have my briefcase right here, and I reorganized all of my warm chatter bags, and I reordered my little warm chatter bags that I use. So these are my little warm chatter bags, and I have like little samples in here that I put in there, and then I have some little gift cards that I put in there that I create, and I have all those ready to go, okay? I also went ahead and started putting together my recruit packets. I'm revamping my recruit packet. So I've already got the Steps to Success flyer. If you have not ever ordered those on section 2 under team building, you really should order those. It's very professional. It looks really good. It's got the different avenues to move up the career path with the career cars. And then I've got my bag for when I get a new customer. I'm always at the school and people see me in my trunk. They run over, they need product. They were new to the school. They want to find out who was driving the Mary Kay car. And these little postcards that Mary Ann created about a year and a half ago, I have them already ready to go in. It says, thank you, you're a new customer. This is what you can expect. So I am armed and ready, okay? So this time, when you have this time, you can get caught up and catch your supplies up, all right? I also restock my shelf. So I go through after Christmas, people are just buying anything. And you're just like, oh, you need a gift? Oh, here's, satin body, this and that. And I'm just restocking on the things that I know I'm going to be selling, because what time when your customers are reordering what you're low on. Also prepare my list for my prospects, the people that didn't get to rebook or they postponed before the holidays hit. I have a list going down. Let me see if I can show you. I have a list going down my page right here of the people that I need to rebook. And so those are going to be the first ones. And then my referral notebook, I have all those. And so those are going to be the first that I start with. I also highlight in my date book the days that I'm going to work because we're still in the middle of basketball season. And then I set a date to start booking. And so because of school and because of basketball, I have set a date of next Sunday to start doing all of my bookings. And that is January 6th. And I feel like that was a good time for me because it's Sunday night, the New Year's over. For the most part, college football playoffs is over until I think that next Monday or Tuesday. And so it's, the people are going to be home. And so that's the date that I felt like that I'm going to start initially booking. So what have I done? I'm going to really sit down and recreate a new script for myself that gets me excited, that I feel like will get my customers excited to book with me. I feel like that I'm really good at really being kind of in touch with what my customers are looking for and what really works to get them on my books. And so I really think this through. And there you go back to thinking about your customers that you really want to book and what you think it would take to get her to invite 3 people over. Okay. Here's what I want you to do this year. I want you to be willing to open up your tightly gripped hands to give away some extra things to get those bookings, okay? Because nothing happens if you are holding that almighty dollar so tight that you can't give anything away. You have to take care of your hostess, okay? Or they will not hold parties for you anymore. And so you will get that money back. You've got to be comfortable and secure with who you are, your presentation, your sales ability, and to be able to give away more, okay? I can offer the moon because I know that the people that I'm booking are just sharp cookies. And if I can get her to get me in front of 3 to 5 people, I am confident with my ability that I'm going to make that money back, whether it's, $75 in free product for 5 people or $100 in free product for 5 people. That is my confidence level. Now, that may not be your confidence level, okay? But here's what you need to know. If you are trying to book people that did not buy product from you at that initial party, they've never reordered from you, okay? Here's what's going to happen. This is how it's going to play out. They're going to book with you. They're going to invite people, broke people, because they're broke. Because let's face it, when you put the product on people's face and they want to buy everything but they don't, it's because they're broke. It has nothing to do with you or your presentation. This product sells itself. But if you're booking the wrong people and you are giving away the farm, you're going to lose money. So you have to get out your chicken list and start from there, okay? If you've sat through a new consultant training, we talk about your A list and your B list. Your A list is your chicken list. This is your hot list. A is all the people that intimidate you. You write them down on your A list. B is your go-to people. These are the people that do not intimidate you, okay? You do not start with the people that don't intimidate you. You start with the people that intimidate you, because if you get at least one booking from those people that scare you to death, that they're so sharp that you just want to crawl under a rock, okay, and you get a booking, you're empowered. But if you start with your B list and your great Aunt Martha and you try to book her and she's like, oh, and you're like, she'll do it. She does everything for me. And you get her on a bad day and her dog got ran over and she's like, I'm really not interested. You feel totally defeated. And you're thinking, if she won't book with me, nobody's going to book with me. And now your year is started off as a flop. And so I want you to start with your hot list, with your A list. Start from there. Muster up some nerves. Pull up your big girl panties, Richard, and up. And book those sharp cookies. I promise you, it is going to turn the ship around. Because if you are not happy with the outcome of your 2018, then if you listened, I think we did a training on this at it may have been at Beach Retreat. We talked about the flat tires, okay? And so if you look at the 4 tires and you're trying to blame somebody, you usually start blaming yourself. Well, don't start blaming yourself yet. You look at your numbers. And then you look at your numbers to see, well, did the numbers add up to what I wanted to do? No. Well, what about your, whatever. I'm not going to go through the whole training. But the last thing you look at is you, okay? It's not you unless you look at those first 3 and you didn't do those things, okay? Then it might be you, and it might be the people that you're booking. And we'll find that training somewhere and go back over it, because I think it's really, really good training to make you understand it's not always you. And so this is how you get started on a great start, and to turn that ship around and get it going in the right direction is, who are you booking, okay? Who are you offering? I mean, it's okay to offer the farm if she owns a farm. But if she didn't buy a lipstick from you and she has never booked with you, she's not going to invite the right people. Broke people hang out with broke people. Women with money hang out with women with money. It's just what it is. Okay. So I have my prospect list. Now you know how to prepare your prospect list. And I highlight my days. I set my date. I make a list of all the things that I need to copy to get ready, to make sure I have my referral sheets. And I haven't used this in a while, but I like to always, you guys remember this? Okay, so I'm going to make this again. And we've got all these new great eyeshadows and cheek colors with samples. And I'm going to have these ready to hand out and, to warm chatter. Yes, I'm going to try to warm chatter this year. Hell has froze over.
I'm impressed.
Yay. If you want something different, you got to be willing to do something different, right? I know that's not exactly how that goes, but hey, that's all that can come out right now. That's all I can think about. All right, so basically I'm armed and ready for the new year, and I'm super, super excited. I'm taking control back. When you take control back, then you feel empowered. And you guys know I'm a micromanager. And the worst feeling that I have is where I don't have control. And setting my goals and really looking at what makes me happy. What makes me happy is being out in the field and controlling everything.
Oh, she's back.
Okay, I'm back.
Hey, stop talking about her.
Did y'all hear me screaming at my family? Everybody get off the internet. Oh my gosh. Okay. And we're still recording. I don't know what that's going to be like. Anyway, so back to I'm back on, I think. Am I back on? No, I think I'm frozen again.
Let me see. Oh, there's lagging.
Can y'all, what does that mean?
Lagging?
Oh,
Okay. Oh, here we are. Okay, let me wrap this up. All right, so having a sense of urgency is so important. All right, so here's one tip. Actually, I think I'm going to come back to this tip on another training call, but I want to talk about the big announcement. Oh, get a new hostess plan for one. Have some new giveaways, okay? What makes you excited? If you're excited, your customers will be excited. Would you cook and clean and invite your friends over for your current hostess plan? Okay, be willing to change things up. If your horse is dead, get off, okay? Go ride a new horse. Here, now, something else. Maybe getting out in the field doesn't excite you right now, but a new pair of shoes will. And I know this might seem a little materialistic, but when I've really needed to book those A-list sharp cookies, I would go out and buy a new pair of shoes and a new shirt to go underneath my beauty coat, or I would go get $1 million outfit. Didn't cost $1 million, but made me feel like $1 million. That would give me the incentive to book that sharp cookie because I knew I could wear that outfit. Remember that cashmere sweater that I told you I was going to wear to my customer who her husband owns a car dealership, but I didn't get to wear it that day? Anyway, that's what gives me the courage to book her. So even I get intimidated by those sharp cookies, but I also do it anyway, and that's why I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 900. What is my highest party? $2,600 party, y'all. It's a game I play with myself. Okay, I'm not saying to go out and get a new outfit every time you have a party. Your husband will kill me, but sometimes to change things up, it just takes one really great outfit or one really great pair of shoes. I'm going to show you. I'm going to box you guys my new hot pink booties. Okay, that's my new incentive. Okay, so January 1. What I know about January 1 or about new announcements is we usually get the information at 8 a.m. Okay, we will know at 8 a.m. We will not hold this back from you. Okay, you will probably get the email by 10 a.m. It's huge. That's all we know. Well, I do know a little bit more than that. It's the biggest thing they've ever done. The company has really tried to balance things out as far as income, and I think this is their way of doing it. I'm not saying, I don't know if it's income, if it's a challenge, if it's a price, I don't know. But if the Nationals are super excited, I'm super excited. And the hint is, here's what they say. You need to be consistent from January to June, okay? And you need to be a red jacket, okay? That's not too hard. You can be a red jacket in one day, okay? So those things. So 8 a.m., we will be at January 1, we will be watching our emails, and we will let you know as soon as we hear. I am so excited. All right, anybody with any comments? What were y'all saying about me?
What did we say?
Said you're cute frozen. I've never.
Yeah, the second time you were like,
What?
when you were frozen. Yeah. So then everybody was trying to be the Michelle.
Oh my God, I didn't even think that. Like, oh gosh. I've got way too much fluorescent lighting in here. I hate the way I look on this thing. But my other parts of my house is too messy and too noisy.
Michelle, you froze right after you said you were going to do warm chatter, and Richard cheered you on, and then you froze.
Because I died. Hell has froze over, and then I froze. That's great.
Exactly.
Howie, you couldn't have gotten it any better than that. Hey, I'm a micromanager. I totally controlled that. All right, guys. Happy New Year. I hope you guys are excited. Get some rest because we are going to hit the ground running. Good night.